Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talks Raw versus SmackDown Live, where it's pretty simple. We look at both Raw and SmackDown and we see which show won for this week. If you're new to the channel and you're liking what you see, then please like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. Now that that's all said and done, let's get straight on with Raw versus SmackDown. Let's hit the music. So this week's Raw kicked off at none other than Madison Square Gardens, which was awesome. It is the home of WWE, well, WWF, and it was pretty damn awesome to see Stone Cold Steve Austin come out. He always gets the biggest pops. I'm sorry, but I was kind of a little bit worried. I was like, we've just recently seen Stone Cold, on the big anniversary show for Raw. Did we really need him to come back? And I'm kind of glad they did, because again, it just shows you how awesome Stone Cold really is. He comes out, he just cuts a great promo, starts drinking beer straight away, and then he calls out, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman to get this contract signed. Both men come out, they talk about how they loved Madison Square Garden, how they appreciate Stone Cold being there, and all of that lot. And just like last week, the OC come out and they try to interrupt the contract signing again. AJ is just brilliant. He calls Stone Cold an old fat. Again, always fun. And you always hear the New York crowd going mental. Stone Cold, New York crowd, there's going to be a ton of what? And AJ hated it. It was great. Braun and Seth took out Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and it left Stone Cold in the ring with AJ Styles for a stunner. A stunner! My God, it's a stunner! It was awesome. Stone Cold got his beers. He started doing the old Stone Cold, yeah, you son of a bitch, oh yeah, right into AJ's face, and that led to a commercial break. Straight after the commercial break, AJ was straight into a match against Cedric Alexander, the man he screwed over last week when him and the OC, for some strange reason, decided to attack Cedric Alexander. He comes straight out, and this match goes straight into top gear. It was good to see. You can see, Cedric still slightly injured from last week, not just from being attacked by the OC, but his King of the Ring match against Baron Corbin. He's still injured from that, but he went all out against AJ Styles. And again, AJ's one of those perfect combatants where he's so technically gifted in the ring. You want him to work with guys like Cedric Alexander, Ali, Buddy Murphy, because he's in that same category of smaller guy who no one really sees as a saw as a champion, becomes one of the biggest wrestlers in the world. And I just love seeing him working with guys like these, where he can pass on the knowledge, really give them a big rub. And that's what it was. It was a big rub for Cedric Alexander just to have such a good match against AJ Styles. The OC obviously get involved yet again. They cost Cedric Alexander the match. He did win the match by disqualification. Later on, we did find out Cedric Alexander will have a United States title match against AJ Styles at Clash of Champions. Again, I'm kind of glad they're still giving Cedric these big pushes. I think he is one of the best talents, and him holding the US title, do I think it's a bit too early? Maybe, but even if he doesn't win it, it's still probably going to be one of the better matches on that pay-per-view. So again, really looking forward to that one. Next up, we had Roman Reigns introducing the Connor's Cure Superstars. These are the young cancer-beating children. Again, a really good segment from WWE. They really put a lot of focus on that, and their pushes towards cancer research and all this lot, and how they can donate. So Connor's Cure is very, I think it's a very noble charity, and it's very good that WWE always give that a big platform for such a charity. Then that moves us on to what I thought would have been the main event of Raw for me. It was a tag team match. It was Becky Lynch teaming up with Charlotte Flair, taking on Sasha Banks and Bayley. It's the fourth horsewoman. We haven't seen these guys in years in the ring against each other, and having them back in the ring, I was like, oh man, this is a main event caliber match. This is exciting. This is a brilliant. It should be a pay-per-view level match. The match itself went on longer than I expected, which was great, because I think since Paul Heyman's come in, he's really kind of gone, right, these are the big type of matches we do want to have on TV as well, and it does work. And the match itself was good. It was really good. It was a very good TV match. And you can see why these four women are the pillars of WWE Women's Division. Charlotte, Becky, Sasha Banks and Bayley. They literally just feel like these guys are the men. And I'll talk about this. It just shows so much more when you have a look at other women who are competing in the ring, when these four are not involved in the match. But yeah, it was a high caliber match. Everyone loved it. Charlotte Flair pinned Bayley to get the victory. Obviously, she already had that SmackDown Women's title match against Bayley at Clash of Champions, but this kind of solidified that she did legitimately have a claim to that title now. So that's going to be exciting. Again, I'm looking forward to Charlotte versus Bayley. It would be interesting if Bayley goes full on heel by Clash of Champions, but we'll have to wait and see. Next up, another match I was really excited about seeing, and I'm glad it had a bit of time. It wasn't as long as I was hoping it would be, but it was Rey Mysterio versus Gran Metalik. Again, two high flyers, legends. Rey Mysterio is a legend in the ring. Gran Metalik is a brilliant, talented wrestler. For me, one of the most underrated superstars WWE have, and they don't really use him, which is surprising because he is very, very talented. And this was a great lucha libre type of match. I'm glad they're having Ray work with guys like these. Kalisto needs to be started working with him, and I think, anyone else, like anyone from the Cruiserweight division, should really start working with Rey Mysterio, in my opinion. But this match was absolutely brilliant. Gran Metalik didn't win, which I thought that would have, for me, it made sense in some ways, but I would have liked that rub to go to Gran Metalik. Rey Mysterio did win, but it was such a hard-fought match. There was a few times where it was near falls for both men. Rey did hit the 619 and obviously the frog splash to get the victory over Gran Metalik. Big show of respect where Rey, after the match, referees trying to keep him, where he goes up, he picks up Gran Metalik and they shake hands, and it's just like, you put on a great match, we put on a great match, let's enjoy this. And the crowd seem to really love it. Rey Mysterio is so over in New York, it's unbelievable. That led us on to the triple threat match for the Raw, the final spot for Raw at the King of the Ring final. This was Baron Corbin versus Ricochet versus Samoa Joe. Again, a very, very good match. This was so much entertainment in this match. Baron Corbin getting his ass whooped around from the start. Samoa Joe and Ricochet were the ones who kind of navigated the match. And don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from Baron Corbin. I am actually going to praise Baron Corbin in this one, because when he was in the match, because yes, it was good with this triple threat match. It never felt like anyone really shone. Like everyone actually had time to shine, and especially Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin seemed to be better than he was. It seems like Baron Corbin's got better, and that's great, because I was kind of worried he would always be at that level where. I remember when he was Commissioner Corbin and like he got that really bad heat. This time around, the heat is there, but it's not for all the bad reasons. It's literally legitimate heat for being a heel. I think his in-ring performances and in-ring ability has definitely increased in the last couple of months, to say the least. And him getting the victory, yes, he did. He got the victory after Ricochet looked like he had won. He didn't. He pins Samoa Joe. There was a bit of a mistake by the end where he looked like he's trying to lift up Samoa Joe's arm for some reason, but he lifted his leg up, got the pinfall, and he qualifies to the final for the King of the Ring tournament. Again, like I said, this was a really good match. All three men have just performed fantastically in this match, and like I said, everyone got to shine, which is always a good thing in a triple threat match. Next up, we had, this is possibly the worst match of the night, and again, I'm not taking anything away, it's just, it came out of nowhere. No one seemed to really want to see this match, and it was Natalya versus Lacey Evans, a match where the crowd were not interested. I don't think again, this kind of goes back to the Becky, Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley and Sasha Banks. If these four aren't involved in the match, it kind of shows that no one really is bothered, and that is a shame, because Natalya's a veteran. She's very talented, but yeah, no one really cared about Lacey Evans versus Natalya, and Natalya won. She won with the sharpshooter. Lacey Evans tapped out, but again, did anyone really care? Then we got a new episode of the Firefly Funhouse. Again, Stranger Danger. It was great. This was so much fun, where Bray Wyatt is literally talking about how getting like they're going Stranger Danger because Stone Cold Steve Austin's returned and all this lot, and they don't wreck it. And it's like, I mean, they're like, oh, we should. The Fiend did this and this and this, and then Bray Wyatt kind of goes, I'll see you in hell. Obviously indicating that he will be challenging for whoever wins the Universal title at Hell in a Cell. Yeah, again, I'm looking forward to Bray Wyatt challenging for a title. He's so much fun on with the Firefly Funhouse. It's always just something, and it's such an entertaining segment, and I do enjoy it. Then we had our main event of the night, and this was it was a 5-on-5 10-man. It was a 10-man match, 5-on-5 match, where we saw the Raw Tag Team Champion Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, who had fought off Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson earlier on, and Cedric Alexander, who fought AJ Styles after being attacked, and the Viking Raiders, who did come out and save Cedric Alexander after he got attacked by the OC. I forgot to mention that, but they did. This again, the OC were teaming up with none other than Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. Robert Roode. I keep calling it's Bobby Roode. But yeah, this again, a really good main event, a very strong main event, which was good to see for the company. And then we got into the stage where you're watching the match. It's so much fun. Every man is just showing up. Again, everyone got to shine in this match. Cedric did pin AJ Styles again. This led to him getting this US title match later on, and end the show, Cedric Alexander gets his title match. Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, and they have literally the Viking Raiders, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Cedric Alexander with Stone Cold Steve Austin finishing off the night, closing off Raw with drinking beers together in the center of the ring. That's how you finish a Raw with Stone Cold Steve Austin in it. Brilliant show. Next up, we had SmackDown Live for this week, and it started off with The Undertaker, the dead man. Again, having the legends kick off the show when you're going back to somewhere legendary like Madison Square Garden makes sense. And The Undertaker being in the company 30 odd years, he really he's been there. He's been at the main events of Madison Square Garden, so him kicking off, he had cut a great promo where he talks about legends of the past, epic battles which took part in this arena, and it just, he really cut. It was such a fantastic promo. I was just like, damn, that is an Undertaker promo. He gets interrupted quickly by Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is pretty much trying to be respectful, but he's that cocky kind of respectful kind of heel. So he's like, I respect everything you've done. You've done so much in the company for 30 odd years. You've been there, you've done it. But let's be honest, it's time for you to pass the torch. It's time for you to get out of this ring and all this lot. Obviously, the crowd weren't too happy. They were booing Sami throughout all this. Undertaker looks like he's about to walk off, but our ring, Sami is obviously laughing and everything in the center ring, having his back against the Undertaker. Undertaker gets back in the ring. Sami looks really shocked. Chokeslam. Undertaker walks off. Brilliant. You know, again, I'm not too sure what they're trying to do with Sami Zayn in this, in these segments, but okay, you know, again, it was a great promo from Undertaker. You needed a heel to get kind of killed. Sami kind of made the most logical sense in this one. Then we moved on to our next match, moved on to the first match of the night on SmackDown Live, and it was Andrade with his obviously business partner Zelina Vega versus none other than The Miz. Again, I've gone on record a few times when I keep saying this. The Miz for me isn't a Raw superstar; he's a SmackDown superstar. It just there's certain characters who always just feel in place when they go to SmackDown, and again, The Miz just feels that way. A good match, a really good match by Andrade and The Miz. Obviously, I was expecting a good match. I didn't expect this type of match so early, but it was a good match to start off the show. The Miz worked his... Let's be honest, The Miz worked hard in this match. Andrade is a absolutely gifted superstar. He is a future world champion. I'm not lying, I honestly could see Andrade hold the world title in a year, 2 years, at tops. He will be a world champion. That's how talented that young man is. They had Shinsuke Nakamura on commentate. He was speaking Japanese throughout the whole questions, and Corey Graves was kind of translating. My Japanese isn't that great, but I'm pretty sure he didn't say half the things Corey was saying. So that, you know, that was interesting. It was interesting the dynamic that went through. It is cool that they're allowing the superstar, especially Shinsuke, whose English isn't great. I think we all accept that. Having him just speak Japanese constantly, that's actually quite refreshing. It really just shows WWE. To be honest, yeah, keep it up. I actually like that. It's that cocky heelness, which Shinsuke is really doing well right now. Like I stated, the Miz versus Andrade, very hard hitting match, very strong, very strong in the way they both men worked. The Miz did get a victory, a surprise victory. I've got to say, there was parts where it looked like Andrade was going to win, especially with Zelina Vega getting involved. There was a bit where the Miz threw Andrade into Shinsuke Nakamura. I was expecting at that point Shinsuke to attack the Miz and disqualify him for the match, kind of give it, you know, protecting Andrade, but no, they went the opposite way. The Miz won clean, Andrade losing clean, which a shocker for me, because obviously you just expect him to be building up Andrade. Shinsuke does attack the Miz after the match though, and that's pretty much his warning. I am looking forward to Shinsuke versus The Miz. I think that is going to be a great match. Next up we had Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose. Again, I wasn't too sure how I'd feel about this match, but again, I think it was better than what I was expecting. Not a great match, not by far a great match, but it was entertaining enough. Pretty much Mandy Rose coming out, cutting a promo against Nikki Cross corner, pretty much stating she looks like a rat. Alexa Bliss comes out with Nikki. This leads on straight onto the match. Nikki is relentless throughout this match. Mandy Rose looks like she can hold her own for a short amount of time, and then that kind of dissipates for quite quickly afterwards, where Nikki Cross does win the match. And yeah, again, not a great match, not a bad match. It's just an okay match. Next up we had Heavy Machinery versus Local Talent. Not sure why we're doing that, but okay. Yeah, they absolutely destroyed a Local Talent. There was a really weird bit where they were drinking a weird protein shake before the match. But yeah, I can't be too annoyed. It's again, if you go into such an iconic historical building and you're doing that kind of match, it just, again, you've got the B team on SmackDown, just use them as a jobbing kind of tag team. If you want to build up heavy machinery again, that would make the most sense. Next up, we had Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan's encounter. This was real. This saved a lot of the show. So we started off strong. Kind of got a little bit mixed up with Mandy Rose and heavy machinery bits, and then Roman Reigns, Eric Rowan. Wow. Roland comes with a fantastic promo. Whoever, thank God. That's all I can say is because I was kind of worried. Because Eric Rowan hasn't really had a good track record with promos. Last week he cut a fantastic promo, but the crowd just didn't really seem to care. He cut a fantastic promo again. He's quickly interrupted by Roman Reigns. Both men going at it. The two tanks of a man just trying to destroy it. There's a great bit where Eric Rowan, he's in the WWE Universe. Roman's just over the barrier. He picks up this guy who's obviously a plant in the WWE Universe. They go, he's picking up a fan. Just picks up this guy, throws him at Roman. And you think, holy crap, that is awesome. They start still beating up each other. Roman's still throwing Superman punches against each other. Rollins dragging Roman Reigns. After a while, Rollins, after he takes control, drags Roman up the stage. They start fighting each other again. Security's trying to stop it. There's a hanging camera. Eric Rowan just goes, screw it, throws the camera into Roman Reigns, and that's it. Rowan gets the better of Roman Reigns. I think they stated that their match at Clash of Champions will be a no disqualification match. Please, yes, do it. But yes, this again very strong. They're building up Eric Rowan quite well. Is he gonna beat the big man? No, he's not. But this will be an entertaining match. That was entertaining watching that. Letting them be no DQ match. Yes. Chairs, tables, ladders, give me everything. These are two powerful guys. Let them fight and let them just destroy shit. It's King Kong versus Godzilla. Let me see it. Yeah. Then we had Bayley versus Ember Moon, but before we had the match itself, Ember was backstage. She was talking about Bayley, especially stating that pretty much Bayley's new attitude is because of Sasha Banks' influence. Interesting, I was surprised I didn't see Sasha Banks come out and, attacked Ember Moon for a statement, but no, she didn't. We did have Charlotte on commentating though. She was talking about how, the SmackDown Women's title was never in dispute, never in the shadow of a Raw one when she was the SmackDown Women's Champion, and that was quite interesting. Ember Moon and Bayley, they have a decent match. Again, they have the chemistry. Ember Moon is just an absolute talent. Again, someone who in a year's time definitely will be either Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion. That's a given. She's too damn talented not to be a women's champion in that point. But yeah, Bayley did win. She hit with a belly to belly after Ember Moon missed the eclipse on her, and yeah, Bayley got the victory. Her and Charlotte did kind of have a face-to-face in the ring. I was expecting Charlotte to attack Bayley. Bayley was very, very much aggressive in this match, and very much more aggressive since Sasha Banks has returned. This new side of Bayley, I do like it. I think, and even Charlotte said Bayley needed this new change. She needed to add this to her character, because if she hadn't, she would have been lost in the pack. So I kind of agree with what Charlotte's saying, and I think that's always a sign of a great heel, where if they state something and it's true, it's just that even much better. Then we had Kofi and Randy Orton's part in the show. This was a great segment. Kofi talked about his time. One of the last times he was in Madison Square Garden after putting Randy Orton through a table. And he also talked about the WWE Championship. Again, Randy Orton interrupts. Just started shouting, stupid, stupid, stupid. They start brawling. Randy's in control. He has a steel chair. This is outside the WWE Universe, and they recreate the kind of an iconic scene where Kofi jumps and splashes Randy Orton through a table. Again, they recreated that especially, and it just kind of got me thinking, oh, Kofi's looked quite strong Randy's looked strong as well, building up this feud. That really made Kofi look really strong. I've got a feeling Kofi's not going to hold that title after Clash of Champions. I think they'll probably keep the title on. They might move it onto Randy just for, you know, when they move it to Fox. But yeah, a really good segment. Really kind of got the nostalgia buds going, and the crowd was really up for it, which really helps make that scene look even more epic. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then last but not least, it was the King of the Ring final. Now throughout the whole show, start of the show, Chad Gable had to meet Shane O'Mac in the office, and pretty much he goes in, he's talking to Shane. Shane goes, well, as you know, Elias broke his ankle, so he won't be taking part in the King of the Ring tournament. And Chad goes, oh yeah, I know. And he goes, right, well, I'm going to get an opponent. It can either be a Raw Superstar, SmackDown Superstar, someone's been eliminated already, but I will tell you later on. Later on in the show, Shane goes looking for Chad in the changing rooms. He finds him, and he goes, oh, I'm just going to get your opponent. Comes back in, and he goes, it's me, I'm your opponent. He also talks to Kevin Owens during the show, does Shane O'Mac, pretty much stating, you have a job, I'll forget about that fine, and you can keep your job if you pretty much be the referee for this match. KO kind of reluctantly agrees to do that, and this led to the main event, which was Shane versus Chad Gable versus KO. And the match itself was actually quite entertaining, to be honest. I was kind of worried when it was like, oh god, Shane. And Shane was very cocky. He came out with interrupting Chad Gable's entrance to the ring, first thing, which was great. Then he comes out with the World Cup, not the Football World Cup, I'm afraid. It was the crappy WWE version. Plants it next to the King of the Ring one, puts the crown on top of it. It kind of looked like the Premier League title. If you're a football fan in the UK, it looked like that. Then they got on with the match. Chad Gable hits a German suplex, pins Shane in like no time. KO, like 1, 2, 3, there we go. Chad Gable wins the match. Shane's not having any of it. He turns the match into a 2 out of 3 match. This thing kind of gives KO a warning. He beats the crap out of Chad Gable. Then Shane looks like he's going to get a pinfall. KO does a quick pin count on Chad. Chad gets out by 1, very much surprising the crowd. They start working each other. Shane tries to use a steel chair. Kevin Owens takes it off him. Then Chad Gable finally puts Shane O'Mac into the ankle lock. Then he puts the vine hold on as well, and Shane O'Mac taps out. KO has no choice. Shane O'Mac's lost. He says, I couldn't do any more. I've done everything possible. You just lost. You tapped out. And then Shane goes berserk. He attacks Kevin Owens. He gets the mic and he fires Kevin Owens. So obviously that means KO will return at Clash of Champions or something. Maybe, I've got a feeling he's definitely gonna have like a match or something, and challenge Shane on, you know, at Hell in the Cell, and to get his job back, and then possibly Survivor Series against Shane. But again, really surprising turn. I wasn't expecting them to do that. I mean, KO puts a message out which was numbers, and it was pretty much the letters which spell out the numbers represent letters, represented equals NXT. So could KO be going back to NXT? We'll have to wait and see. And there you go, guys. That was Raw versus SmackDown Live for this week. Which show won for the week? Well, it was very difficult. I think SmackDown had some really good parts. Undertaker, Roman Reigns and Eric Rowan, fantastic. Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton, brilliant. And Shane O'Mac, Chad Gable and Kevin Owens in the main event, and KO getting fired really shocked me. It was a good turn on the show. I wasn't expecting that. Raw, on the other hand, was fantastic. There was only probably one poor match in the whole show, and that was Lacey Evans and Natalya. Everything else worked. The tag team match with Natalya, with Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley and Sasha Banks worked. The main event, 10-man match, and then Stone Cold coming out. Stone Cold from the start, Stone Cold at the end, brilliant. Cedric Alexander, AJ Styles, brilliant. There was no point for Raw where I wasn't entertained, and that's always the best bit. So what am I going to score the shows for this week? Well, I think I'm going to give Raw a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's a fair score. And I think for SmackDown, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 this week. So this week's winner is Raw. But what was your favourite part of Raw or SmackDown? Leave it in the comments below, guys. If you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press that bell to keep notified, like I said at the start of this video. If you want to follow us on the old Twitter, it's at SmackTalkYouTube. If you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boyze88. And I'll see you guys next time on our Clash of Champions predictions video. So see you later, guys.